Believe me, the likes of Miguel Prieto was having a very bad time indeed. Broken a wheel strut for him, and hours lost. Well, lucky that the trucks could actually see what was ahead of them on this day. The dust enveloping all. This was Prieto, not a happy man, waiting for assistance. Thumbs up from the great man, others not so lucky. Including ex-Formula One driver, Philippe Alliot. Bracing the vehicle so the mechanics could get underneath. A broken sump and more besides. Assistance, as you'd expect, from the ever-efficient Germans, not too far away. But the work was long and arduous, and Philippe Alliot had just about had enough.
Il est bien, hein, le moteur, là. Hein?
Qu'est-ce que tu fais, Patrick?
Les pièces, elles arrivent comme ça.
Nothing too wrong with the motor. Just no oil in there.
Tu vas positionner le support, là.
Oui.
Tu vois, regarde la vis, là, comment elle est venue. À moins qu'on mette une vis, tu vois.
Well, moments like this for competitors, absolutely tortuous. Time is of the essence, of course, in any race, but particularly on the Dakar in the early stages. Nobody wants to lose ground.
Sinon, le dernier boulon, là, il passe pas. Parce que je l'ai sorti comme ça, moi, hein. Parce que j'ai sorti parce qu'il était cassé, peut-être.
Well, Alliot was to get back underway, but so much time lost.
Fais-le le moteur et reprends-le, va.
Je vais chercher 2 heures.
Ouais. Toi, tu remets pas les mains dedans, hein.
And it was the same story for so many others. Well, if Alliot thought he had it tough, what about Luc Alphon? In the Renault Kangoo, just about everything that was going to go wrong happened to him. Steering problems, gearbox trouble, other difficulties as well. He didn't want to talk about it, to be honest. Well, trying to make those repairs as you go, but it's problem after problem. Lucky for him, he wasn't too far from home. Flags indicated that he could get across unassisted, which is the rule, of course, for the last 100 meters. And that's exactly what he did. Not at the sort of speed he's used to either on the ski slopes or on these dry roads, but he made it in, and all credit to him. Well, as Alphon sweated, Hubert Auriol had a smile. The race director not allowed even to shake his hand, lest it be construed as a helping hand in these all-important last 100 meters.
Mais après la boîte, on ne sait pas d'où ça vient. Elle sort comme ça d'un coup, flou.
Very bumpy, and some of those tight tracks, particularly if you got lost. Confusing indeed. Many had to stop, the maps were out.
On est quasiment dessus, là.
Yes, as others took it more smoothly. Sammy was complaining about the bumps and bruises he and his co-driver received. Was difficult, and for those on the bikes, it was even worse. Injuries there were to be, accidents aplenty, and indeed by the start of the day, 20% of the field failed to start stage 4. indeed. Bruno Savi had a great day. Shinazuka, of course, on the cards. Roma was doing anything but this. He started off as leader, and he was to take it on the day. Stay top. Shinazuka doing the same in the cars. It really was kings and peasants on this day. Luck blows hot and cold in the Dakar. One moment you're looking very good, the next everything falls to pieces for you. That's Guillaume Gomez in the Ford Pro truck. On stage 4, all was looking well, and then 400 meters from the end of a very long stage, 608 kilometers in all, and it all fell down.
Une panne électrique, on va remettre en route, on est à 20 mètres de l'arrivée là. Tu rentres 2 tournevis dedans.
Almost total electrical shutdown. That was repaired. Suspension was absolutely shot at the back. There were other problems as well. Limping in, as you can see, the rear end dragging away. They just couldn't put it all back together. Well, elsewhere, race director Hubert Auriol was lending a helping hand to Shares Loose. Number 351, hitting a pothole, flipping over. And it wasn't pretty when the Toyota was righted. He says we crashed. I don't know whether we can get ourselves back into this race. Just tumbled. We'll wait and see. Well, as others were driving for the end of the special, Serge Lucet was being righted. He did carry on and spent the night repairing and tapping out bodywork. Well, it wasn't just cars that were happening. High speed, you have to keep your eyes front. No showboating for the cameras. Nice drift this was looking. Unfortunately, it ended in a ditch for Erki Kasbaches, the Dutchman, probably trying to catch his brother Pierre. Well, showboating for the cameras. Help from the locals. He was back on track in no time. The only major thing damaged is pride. Once again, and as we saw with the rider earlier on, you have to maintain that focus. If you don't, you can pay. Fontenay on board with him, having a brief chat, takes a wrong turn and pays dearly as Demevius went past him.
Non, le cap est pas terrible, hein. Le cap était plus à gauche. Ah merde. C'est pas bon, c'est pas bon.
No, it's not good. The track getting narrower and narrower. They realised they'd missed a parallel piste. Up in front of them, Demevius, who was trailing them. No overtaking possible for 350 kilometres after this. Fontenay angry with himself. Well, 115 cars started on this day, some of them wishing they hadn't bothered. It got slippy out there as the loose top surface broke up. And if you were following once again, it was a throat full of dust.
Mets-toi à droite, mets-toi à droite, mets-toi à droite. Ouais, attends.
Engine down.
Crevaison, ça arrive, mais au bon moment. Bah écoutez,
Work to be done.
on change la roue. Faut aller trop vite, on est très chargé en essence. Là, on a crevé.
Speed,
donc on est calme.
as ever,
On va prendre son temps pour
of
changer
the
la roue.
essence.
En espérant qu'il n'y ait pas trop de concurrents. Allez, il faut pomper. Quand on dit que le sport auto...
Keep bumping, he says. We've got to get
Je
up.
peux vous dire, qu'avec mon jeune âge, c'est dommage, on a bien marché parce que... Ah, si, voilà une voiture.
Philippe
Il y a
Wamberg
2 minutes, donc on avait déjà
and his
un peu de
Nissan.
temps.
You have to take your hat off to these people. As others stream past, focus maintained. The locals, once again, waving us through. Some a little frightened by the helicopter. Nothing to fear.
J'espère que le médecin va se ranger vite fait.
The crowds have been superbly behaved throughout this Dakar, steering clear of the passing vehicles. And of course, the organisers making sure the competitors take it easy through villages. There are speed guns, and should you get caught, you will be penalised 30 minutes, and that's in this race. Well, we all thought we had problems. What about this man, Jean-Francois Guinot? Where's the vehicle? Don't worry, it's not underneath his knees. This is a wadi, and he's got stuck. A wadi is a dried up riverbed. And he said, well, I dare translate it actually, but he's in trouble. Let's put it that way. Well, the running boards apparently look ineffective. A turn in the river, blocked yet again. This is typical Dakar fare. Oh, Francois Guignot, apparently used to it. Chip away that riverside, would you? Just need to get a bit of purchase. Well, as others were passing them. Not laughing, you can be sure. Just encourages trouble for yourself further down the line. Well, miraculously, they were to escape from this one. When you see how much further down the wadi he had to travel, it really was an impressive effort. As soon as you stop, your problems mount. Guinot, driving clear, but not driven mad, thankfully. Just too soft. Pilot made a decision. The driver, that's it, blame each other. Exhausting, it most certainly is. Looking for his watch, I presume. It's not a holiday. I'll tell you what, we'll just head off for a quick swim in the sea. It's a long way from the sea. So farewell then to the greenery of Burkina Faso. Mixed terrain ahead of all and sundry. It's a great day. Sadly, the last for a few days showed some great spirit, this race. Saba, the airlift nears completion as the last competitors and machines arrive in Libya. Racing starts tomorrow. Also in tonight's programme, we continue our historical review of the Dakar. Tonight, the years 1993 to 1999. As always, some stunning action for you. It was a great result for Mitsubishi, but difficult for the likes of Shinazuka, as you can see. Introduced to the crowd, not the way she would have wanted. And all coming home first and second, ahead of the Mitsubishi of Fontenay. Bruno Sabi crashing out on the 5th stage. Not a great deal left of his bodywork. Thankfully, the roll cage and himself started to go down in the KTM team. First Kindergartner, then Sala, then Akerons. Down and out. Schlesser, he was to crash out. Is by now famous buggies, well, this one at least, at an end. Kleinschmidt was also on board a Schlesser buggy though, and she was to become the first female winner of a stage. Their development reaching a climax, Kleinschmidt was to go on to even greater things.
First time I make a scratch and then into Dakar. Woo!
Yet again, it seemed, it was to be Peder Hansel that was to top it. 6 win, as we've said, a record, beating Meoni, who was so upset. And get this, 11 chasing KTMs. Their time surely must come. In the cars, Mitsubishis, 4 of them finished top. Everyone else seemed to be ending up upside down. Fontenay winning it ahead of Shinazuka, Sabi and Matsuoka.
Nous avons été victimes d'un braquage à 10 km d'ici.
Well, once again,
et une
trouble.
bande a braqué un camion, Tatra, le 719.
A Tatra has been stolen and the car has come under gunfire.
Deux concurrents qui sont arrivés au bivouac.
The next day,
il n'y a aucun blessé.
cancelled.
Nous avons donc décidé, pour raison de sécurité,
for reasons of security,
en liaison.
We're going to change the route. How familiar is that announcement? Following day, just a liaison, no racing. They were soon back into competition though. And Mitsubishi cleaning up ahead of the Schlesser buggy. And indeed, the Schlesser buggy coming amiss on the final day between Saint Louis and Dakar itself. Drowned, but no rat. Schlesser finishing 5th, of course. Well, more problems within the dunes. Security worries meant that we had to change route again. This was the year that all the bikers missed the stage between Mopti and Timbuktu. That was cancelled. Threat of hold-up and terrorism dogging the race. Well, as others were succeeding, others were already on their way home. Mechanical problems, accidents, there were plenty of them. Thankfully, nobody seriously hurt. Plenty of pride damage, though. Luc Alphonse even having to pull his Renault Kangoo across the line to try and make the final 100 meters unassisted. Time for our customary brief look back. First real stage yesterday after the restart. Nicolas Coadet, number 178, said I broke a piece of my suspension. The problem is I have to find another one, and it's not easy. He says it takes something of a miracle, otherwise you'll have to abandon the race. Well, some people's misfortune are to the benefit of others. Kindergartner's bike left there to be picked up, and Coadet was to take the piece he needed, and you can see just how pleased he was. That was the first real stage proper since the restart, and it was taking its toll. Paulo Manuel Marquez had electrical difficulties. And as you know, Kindergartner was hurt. There were others as well. Fabio Fasola down and out of the race. Some were upset, some were philosophical. Thumbs up to the riders who passed by. Lauren Logoff on the Yamaha. It wasn't looking good. His engine turning but dying again and again. It's over, he says. There you go.
Bon, bah voilà.
There you are.
30 bornes de l'arrivée.
30 kilometers from the arrival. I just can't make it. Claude Arnault on the buggy had their own difficulties. Luckily, a lift-off panel means they can access every part of the engine. What a state, he says. Let's get going. Secure those wheels. Let's go. This is Carlo Arendt, another one of the days injured and obviously upset.
J'ai pris une lunette.
Says I took a dive
120 à l'heure à peu près.
around 120 kilometers an hour.
Tonneau.
Tumbled forward.
Tonneau par l'avant. Par l'avant et je crois que j'ai...
Tiens, jus d'orange.
Brief drink.
Je crois que j'ai pété le tibia.
Says I think I've broken a tibia. And indeed, it's confirmed he had out of the race.
Enfin, une vraie
Others, a little more optimistic.
que ça.
At last, he says, a real Dakar stage with real desert. And with the GPS, it's fantastic. You can drive 200 speeders apart from each other, and there's no dust, well, except for here, he says. But as soon as we go off piste, it's great. Absolutely top. I'm loving it, he says. A brief bit of maintenance, and he'll be underway again.
Pour l'instant, tout va bien. La moto marche bien. On s'arrête un peu pour l'essence, mais nickel. Regarde.
Tenturer
tour,
says for the moment, everything's fine. I've stopped for oil. But it's very nice. You can look around you. Very beautiful, he says. I won't be too late tonight. I've got 2 lead weights, he said, however, with me. There they are, his teammates. But that's okay, he says. Just trying to keep in touch with the rest. Look at this, he says. Braking sensibly. Down he comes to see the wreckage of those who'd been before us. Shinazuka was down, so was Prieto, and Demevius, and critically, Souza. As you can see, others were arriving very quick indeed. And I can tell you that Souza and Manuel Lutz are critical in hospital. One other is in a serious condition, Dominic Cerise, the co-driver of Shinazuka. 5 others are injured. That's the latest we have for you. Nobody lost consciousness, but they were hurt badly. The cars had flown over, travelling many, many meters. The wreckage, well, it speaks for itself. Savi had alerted our TV helicopter, which relayed to the medical centre. They were on their way. We were desperately trying to make them as comfortable as possible. Demevius says, we're all in a line, couldn't do anything. Each one of us was just looking at the car in front. So, when one hits the dunes, normally no problem. This time, though, it was a very sharp drop. It just disappeared on the other side. I don't know how it was that the first group passed safely, but it's a great surprise to us. Souza went over, then me, Prieto and Shino. Very violent impact, he said. He says, I don't feel too bad, but he said, I think I've got compressed vertebra in my spine, both me and my co-driver. And of course, we wish them the very best. It was a huge shock, he said, when we came down. Massive impact. And it's rocked the entire round.
C'est quoi le premier bilan, là? 8 blessés au total, tous des problèmes de rachis.
8 injured, he said, 2 with spinal problems. Nobody has lost consciousness yet.
Voilà, c'est bien.
It was only a matter of minutes before the medical team were there. Well, let me just give you a medical report on those injured. Luz and Souza have gone to a neurosurgical unit for surgery today. De Mervies is also in a neurosurgery department in Paris. Cerise is in Grenoble, similar problems. De La Zotti is in hospital in Paris. Maimon has been allowed home. Shinazuka is in a Paris American hospital, and Prieto has been hospitalized in Madrid. Our thoughts, of course, with all those who were injured yesterday. Tragedy such as yesterday's is a rare thing indeed. Esteve Puyol having his own problems. Some, though, managed to overcome their troubles. Bourgoin here. As the trucks sped past, he'd got radiator trouble. Says we went over a dune, came down hard, and unfortunately we pushed the horn into the radiator, and it's leaking away, so we're going to have to effect an emergency repair. And guess what they chose to fix this? Camembert. Absolutely brilliant. Worked a treat, got them to the next control point where they could get some proper glue. So remember to pack a cheese next time. It can prove extremely useful. In Normandy, he says, we've got 3 kinds of cheeses. They all work beautifully to fix radiators. They taste good too. It's a wonderful day, great spectacle. And those dunes, they were trapping many in many different ways. You had to work hard, you had to work quickly to get clear. Sometimes it required the assistance of others. There was no other way, for instance, of dragging this one off the top. Many took tumbles, thankfully less serious than the big hit. The Brazilian troller had taken a roll off the top of a dune.
Do you remember? I remember, oh yes.
Painful, but not life-threatening, thank goodness. The Kias seem to be doing well. Some were just flying, taking that he was ahead of Peder Hansel by a full 4 minutes and 20 seconds. That good enough to add onto his lead. It means that Schlesser leads Peder Hansel now overall by 13 minutes and 16 seconds, going into what will be really the final few days. This a day when the chasing pack came good. Esteve Puyol home, but almost dry. Another rough day for some. Delavan taking a tumble. Thankfully, nobody hurts. And Bodney takes the day as Schlesser and Peder Hansel fight each other. Juan Roma still in the race, despite his troubles yesterday, and he witnessed this. Well, it was an absolute miracle that anyone got out of this. In the end, the car had rolled perfectly, as perfect as a roll could be. Nobody hurt. We were amazed. Delavan, his co-driver, perfectly okay. He said, hit a bump. It was being masked by the dust from a couple of cars, and over we went. Going very fast, 160 kilometers an hour. Everyone fine. And guess what? Even the car was okay. Amazing stuff. A tribute to Nissan. So you're going to have a blowout and take a tumble. And that's...
Hey YouTube, thanks for watching. If you're interested in more content like this, check out our back catalog of videos. We have hours and hours and hours of compilation videos, podcasts, where you'll get news, you'll get my opinion on certain things, which who doesn't want to hear that? Check it out. If you would, like, subscribe, turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our future uploads. We will be making more videos like this one. So, if you're interested, turn on notifications, like, subscribe, the works. And I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for watching. God bless. Love you. Peace.